So I want to come back a little bit to there's a story I read about you about the scooter.
Hmm.
So tell us about the story behind that, and yeah, just tell us a story about that.
Yeah, I think from a young age, my mom really, really taught me the value of a dollar. I grew up in kind of low income circumstances, and my mom was a single mother, and so money was always very, very tight in my family. And so when I was like 8 years old, what was like really, really popular for kids my age was those Razor scooters that had just come out. And so everybody had one, and I felt so bad because I was the only kid who didn't have one. And so I was begging my mom, please buy me this Razor scooter. And she kept telling me like, no, we can't afford it, like you don't really need it, it's just a toy, like maybe later, just pretty much just forget about it. And so I kept bothering her about it, and so finally she said, okay, if you'll stop bothering me, if you can raise half of the money to pay for the scooter, then I'll put in the other half and then you can get your scooter. And I think she thought that I wouldn't be able to do it and I would just give up. But I think I took that as a challenge, and I started making greeting cards, and so I made a whole bunch of greeting cards, and I went out, on my block on the street that I lived, and I sold them like all day. And by the end of the day, I'd raised $30, which was half the price of the scooter. And I was like, I made that $30. Like, let's go buy my scooter. And I think that's really what made me interested in business and made me realize that this is something I could make money from and something that I enjoyed doing and something I would continue for the rest of my life.
It's great. It's a great story. Um, so you mentioned you grew up in low income housing, so and also having a single mother.
Mhm.
I mean, there's already two obstacles, two challenges. Like how did you like what kind of things were you doing to overcome them?
I think a lot of it has to do with my mom. Like my mom always taught me, not to let the fact that I came from kind of rough circumstances to hold me back from doing anything that I wanted to do. She's always been very, very supportive, and she's always encouraged me to just do the best and, get straight A's in school and be involved with as much as you can be. And so I think that I always just had this mentality that even though I was, kind of struggling when I was younger, it wasn't always going to be like that. And there was something I could do to, make my life better.
That's a great point. That you know what you where you are when you're young is not necessarily like where you're gonna end up when you're older.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Um, okay. Wow, I'm kind of blowing. What's been okay? So obviously you said your mom has been sort of like the rock behind who you are. I'm sure she gave you like a really good ton of advice, right? What kind of advice would you pass down to some of the younger entrepreneurs?
I think I would say, definitely the most important thing for me was don't let the fact that you're young or that you're, struggling with money or that, don't let anything hold you back from doing what you want to do and achieving your goals. I think it's so important for young people to understand that, you know, you're never too young or old to start something. You're never too old or young to do what you want to do. And so I think it's really important just to believe that you can do it and that it's possible to do whatever you want to do. But at the same time, one thing that is also really important is just to make sure that you have fun when you're a kid. Like I started this business so young, and so I ended up missing like a lot of things in high school. Like I never went to homecoming ever, and I rarely hung out with friends. And so I think even if you want to, do what you want to do, don't forget to just be a kid sometimes and have fun and like go play outside.
Good, that's good. So what's next for Zoe Damacela Apparel?
I'm continuing to run my business while I'm here at Northwestern. I am going to be minoring in costume design, and so I think I'm starting to lean more towards costume design rather than fashion design. But I mean, I'm always very, very flexible as far as things that might happen in the future, and so I'm probably going to continue to run this business after I graduate, and most likely start another one because I definitely consider myself a serial entrepreneur. And I guess we'll just see.
Okay. So like, how did you? So when I saw that when you were, for your dresses, right? That you already started branding them.
Hmm.
Did you were you doing that in the beginning, or did you like realize, well, I gotta have my name out there at some point?
Yeah, that was actually my fashion teacher's idea. When I first started, I wasn't doing anything like that. That idea didn't even really come into my mind because I was just, I was just making dresses for fun, and they were mostly for my friends, and so I didn't really give it a second thought. But once I started selling more to strangers, I was talking to my fashion teacher about it, and she's like, "You need a logo. Like, you need to design a logo, and you need to put it on all of your stuff. That way, it's very clear where the stuff comes from, and that's really going to help you out." And so she started, for all of my assignments that I was turning into class, like my school projects even, she would make me put the logo on there, and I wasn't allowed to turn anything in unless it had my logo on it.
That's interesting. So, in this whole process, is there anything that you would want to redo?
I don't think so. I mean, I definitely, I feel like I would have liked to, have more fun when I was younger and enjoy, being a kid. But at the same time, like, I definitely had fun in high school. Like, I loved being in high school, and I love college now. And, I love what I do. And I think that everything happens for a reason, and everything is always going to work out the way that it's supposed to. And so I don't think I can say that I would redo anything or do anything differently.
Okay, that's great. Is there any last things that you want to mention to the viewers of this interview?
Gosh, not that I can think of. I don't know.
So how can someone get in touch with you or find out more about your dresses?
Yeah, definitely. You can get in touch with me. You can email me directly. My email address is really easy. It's just zoedamacela@yahoo.com. Or you can visit zoedamacela.com. Or just Google Zoe Damacela, and there'll be a bunch of links. I'm on Facebook and MySpace and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of ways to reach me.
How does someone order one of your dresses?
Yeah, you can order dresses by going to the website, zoedamacela.com, or emailing me personally at zoedamacela@yahoo.com.
Okay, and do you still do like custom-made dresses or?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely, yep.
Well, I mean, not for me, but for people who are interested.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
All right, thank you, Zoe.
Thank you so much.
Great time.